Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we will be looking at a very new product, and this one is a download on Illusionist, and it's called Deadline by Yannick Barth. This is a very interesting effect that takes a classic of magic that we all know, but adds a bit of a different ending and spice to it that I think some of you will enjoy. Of course, we're talking about Deadline, so let's roll the intro and get straight into it. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Deadline. So what is Deadline? Deadline is a triumph effect with a bit of a nice presentation and a good twist at the end that, depending on your scenario, can play extremely big or just big. So that's what we're going to talk about in a moment. But first, let me do a quick performance of this in my way, because I'm not doing it exactly as taught in the tutorial. I'm doing it kind of how I like to do it. So it's going to be a bit different to what you're going to learn, but we're going to unpack all of that in a moment. But first, you're going to have a deck of cards. You're going to have a spectator or two. You're going to have one of the spectators take out their phone. So imagine this is their phone. They're going to go to their stopwatch on their phone. And you're going to tell them that, look, what we're going to do is we're going to have your friend test himself. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn a few of these cards over just like this. And what I'm going to ask you is kind of estimate how long do you think it's going to take you to take all of these cards and place them all face down or face up. So the spectator can do a prediction. So you give it to them and you say, perfect. So when I say go, you're going to start doing it and you're going to press the start button. 1, 2, 3, go. So the spectator, second spectator is going to press the button and the other one is going to try and go as fast as they can to, flip all the cards. And you say, okay, he's got it, stop. And you say, okay, so it's under 5 seconds, around 5 seconds that it took you to do this. You can close the phone, by the way, to sort all of the cards. But now, if I were to have you, for example, do it with the whole deck, how long do you think it would take you to sort the entire deck of cards in order for you to sort them out? So let's say they're going to give a prediction and you say, okay, but you know what? We're going to do this with myself. So what I'm going to do is this. So I'm going to take these cards and I'm going to mix them face up into face down, just like this. Okay. And we are going to mix everything together. And as you can see, we have here a mishmash of face up and face down cards. And we're going to put all of this together. And now we have this mess. So how long do you think it's going to take me to solve this entire thing? So let's say they say around 10 seconds. You say, perfect. So around 10 seconds is your estimate. But we're going to actually try something a bit different. We'll just do it in 1 second. Just like this. Every single card. Oh, no, wait. I think I messed up. Every single card but 3 turn the correct way. So we did a pretty good job, except for 3 out of 52 cards. That's not bad, right? But let's just see here by chance. Do any of these cards mean anything to you? So the spectator is going to answer. It could be their birthday, it could be a pin number, anything depending. It doesn't matter, but it could be. But then you tell them, that's interesting because you had at the start, you timed yourself doing the cards. And how long did it take you? Remember, it was under 5 seconds, but do you remember exactly how many seconds? They're going to say no. They're going to open their phone and it's going to be 4 seconds and 58 milliseconds that it took them to do it. And that's exactly the 458 that you have here. So that's going to be your prediction and how the effect is going to work. Now that's not the best performance that I could do of this because these cards are my practice cards, and as you can see, they are musty and very rusty. They're very old, so the handling isn't the best, but I've been performing this quite a bit since I got it, and it handles beautifully and you can do it very nicely. But now that is what Deadline is. So now that you know what Deadline is, where do you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get? You can get this directly from Illusionist as a download. It's going to cost you in Canadian dollars 35 Canadian dollars, which is around 25 USD. And what you get with your purchase is a video that goes a bit around an hour, 30 minutes, and it's going to teach you 3 different routines. It has live performances for each of the routines, and then you're going to learn each of the routines. The first one is a super simple, beginner-friendly routine that is going to use one of the easiest triumph handlings that you can find out there. It's incredibly easy. It's incredibly easy to do. That's the one that you're going to learn. Then the second one is going to be a gimmick deck handling. So that is if you have what you need in your drawers, or you can go out and buy it, you can do a gimmick deck handling that is a triumph in the hands of the spectators. So they're going to be the ones to actually separate the cards and do everything. But at the same time, it is a gimmick deck, not inspectable at all. And I think that defeats a bit the purpose of the fun of this trick. And then you're also going to learn then a non-gimmick handling, which is the standard triumph routine, which is kind of what I did here, where you can put your own twist. So I do Victor Pina's triumph because it works especially well with this plot and what you're supposed to do. So I do that. You can find it on Pineapple on Classics. It is my favorite triumph, I think, that I've ever learned. So that's the one that I do. That's the handling that I do. But of course, you can put your own triumph spin. You can put Ben Earl's triumph spin, Darwin Ortiz's, Jason Ladani's. Any triumph routine that you know, you can apply and do with this. So that is essentially what you are going to be getting in your video. And of course, this is not an app or anything like this. This is independent, so you can do it Android. You can do it, you can do it Android, iPhone. You can even do it on a stopwatch if someone has, a watch on their hand. You can have them take off their watch. You can do it however you want. So as long as you have something to time yourself, you are good to go. Okay? So now that we know this, how difficult is this to learn? The difficulty is all over the place because, as I said, the first routine that you learn is beginner friendly. The second one uses a gimmick deck, which is intermediate. And the last one is pure sleight of hand. So it's not easy, but it's not hard either. It's kind of in the middle as well, depending which triumph you want to do. If you want to do, for example, J.C. Ladani's triumph that uses strips and pharaohs and stuff, that's going to be much harder than Victor Pina's one. That still is a bit more mechanical, but not that complicated. Or Ben Earl's one, which is bang on in the middle, intermediate, right? So you're going to have different opportunities and different things that you can do in terms of difficulty. This suits everyone's style. It is very easy to do. Now, in terms of practicality, what is the practicality of this? This is very practical because it uses a borrowed shuffle deck, except if you want to do the gimmick deck one, which that's why I kind of don't want to do. I think this is just nice to have a deck borrowed and a phone borrowed and just go into it. So you can carry around the gimmick deck with you, but if not, as long as you have your normal deck with you that you probably already carry around, or you can borrow a deck and a phone, you are good. And as I said, Android, iPhone, it doesn't matter. You can use your phone, their phone. It really doesn't matter. So carrying capacity wise, this is A1 because you can carry nothing and still be able to do this effect if you want. Then in terms of inspectability, if you do this with a normal deck, it is fully inspectable. The phone is fully inspectable. In terms of angles, the angles are 360 for the routine. They are incredible. The reset is instant reset if you do the shuffled deck routine. Table, you will maybe for some of them need a table. For the easy version that he teaches you with the borrowed deck is an in the hands. So it's an in the hands version. So you don't even need a table for all of the routines. But if you want to do the one that I did, you will need a table for it. So that's also very good. So practicality, this effect slaps as well. Now, in terms of where do you perform? So where do you perform this? And you'll be happy to know that you can perform this anywhere. So anywhere that you perform your card magic, you can do this effect. Whether it's close-up, cocktail, table hopping, stage, parlor, close-up parlor, cabaret, wherever you want to do. If you do if you do card magic, you will be able to do this effect. Okay, simple as that. So now that we know all of this, what are the positives and negatives of Deadline? So what is the negative of Deadline? Deadline only has one negative, is that if you want to do the gimmick deck version, you're going to have to supply that, and then that becomes a bit of an expensive trick. If you pay $35 for the download and then you want to do the gimmick deck version, which is probably going to cost you around 15 more or maybe 20 Canadian to source what you need, then that's going to be close to $55 that you're paying for a Triumph effect. So that, I do think if you are kind of bemused by the gimmick deck version, it is a bit steep for that effect. But then again, you can just do the borrowed deck version. And even for the borrowed deck version, I do think $35 is a bit steep because, it's not that much of a complicated trick almost at all. It doesn't have any kind of novel principles or incredible principles that you were never aware of here. So I do think the price point is a bit steep for a download in my opinion, but that's just me. I know that, the creative process, etc., etc. But for something that is this simple, I do think the price is a bit steep. Now, having said that, what are the positives? One, the tutorial is extremely well shot. There's live performances. There's difficulty-wise for everyone on the spectrum to be able to do. It's incredibly practical to carry around and perform. You can perform it pretty much anywhere. It can be a borrowed shuffle deck, borrowed phone, Android, iPhone, it doesn't matter. It can be done at a moment's notice. And also what's very nice is, you know, with the numbers, when I show them, sometimes you can actually get hits. So sometimes the numbers that you're going to show, people are going to be like, wait, that's my address. Like 458 is my address. How the hell did you know that? Or some people can be like, oh, wait, that's actually my birthday. Let's say the number is 412. Maybe I was born on December 4th or whatever, right? I was born on December 4th, the 4th of the 12th month. So you can actually get some hits extra with that, which is always nice to have because, you know, you take the credit for it even though you never meant it. So that's really nice that you're able to get additional hits through the routine, and he goes over that a bit towards the end. So overall, it is a very good effect. It is something that I'm going to be performing. Personally, I will never be performing the gimmick deck version. I think it's a waste. I think that paying the extra money for the gimmicks, I think that carrying a gimmick deck for this effect is just wasting its potential of being just a borrowed miracle that you can do at a moment's notice. So because of that, I will only be performing the borrowed shuffle normal deck version, but I will actually be doing it because I do really enjoy this effect and I think it is pretty strong. So because of that, I am giving this a 9 out of 10. I do think if this was a bit cheaper, I would have given it a 10, but 35 Canadian dollars for something this simple is a bit expensive, but nonetheless, it is a good routine that you are learning here. So up to you to justify that. So having said all of this, that's my review of Deadline. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you on my next review. Have a good one, and bye.